Froge? Where have you been? And who was that guy that attacked me earlier? Is he a Diplin?
Yeah, but
Well, no wonder he's a jerk.
stop interrupting me, jeez. Anyways, this will seem unneeded at first, but I need to tell you my story.
Like your life story?
Yes, now shut up.
Okay, jeez.
I said, shut up. This all started during the scatter time. What we called it when civilizations acted as their own worlds. It was a normal day. I was a small froge pole playing outside. Saw a sky darkening. I looked up, and a giant apple was sitting at the front of our town.
Hi guys, I'm Jadar, and today we're going to be going over week 3 of April.
Do you mind? I'm in the middle of a story.
Oh yeah, you haven't been here for April. Okay, so I'm in a time crunch. I have to make this video to get it out by Sunday, hopefully. Tell me the story as to the videos going on. Anyways, today we are going over days 12 through 18 of April. I moved this video back a bit so that the start of week 4 would be my channel's second birthday. Let's go to day 12, Galar. Okay, so for Galar, I knew I wanted to make a GMAX. Similar to Kalos with Megas, I wanted to give Galar Pokemon a GMAX form. And what's better than choosing my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon, FALINKS? I could have done so many different designs for this GMAX, but I landed on one that I'm super proud of. This is actually the first ever GMAX I've ever made, and I think it came out great in the end. This is a quick reminder that you can find all of my April designs daily if you check out my Instagram page. I post all of them there. Anyways, back to the design. I once made a GMAX Phalanx when I still did traditional art, so I don't have that drawing anymore. Pretty much, it was a bunch of giant phalanxes stacked on top of each other in a sort of tower formation, and towards the top it started leaning, referencing the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It was a pretty cool design idea, so that was my Canon GMAX Phalanx for a while. Then last year I made a video where I gave Phalanx and a few other Pokemon evolutions and pre-evolutions. The evolution to Phalanx I made could work well as a GMAX too because it's a castle wall. I could easily just scale it up even more to be a whole castle and have Phalanx running inside of it. In the end, I used a pretty known idea but still really cool idea of making Phalanx a GMAX that is the Trojan horse. In the design, I pretty much just made a giant horse with the colors, patterns, and look of Phalanx. Instead of the mane, I gave it the spikes that Phalanx has on its head. Same goes with the tail. All over, I add patterns that look like small Phalanx eyes, with the main Phalanx being the eyes of the GMAX. It is a very goofy design, and it wouldn't work at all biologically, but that's the great thing about Pokemon. It doesn't have to work biologically. It's animals with superpowers, for crying out loud. Here is GMAX Phalanx, the formation Pokemon, a fighting type. Similar to Wishiwashi's school form, Gigantamax Phalanx gather many Phalanx into one Pokemon. They form somewhat of a horse shape. Its ability is Battle Armor and its hidden ability is Defiant. Its GMAX move is titled GMAX Cavalry. It is a 150 base power physical fighting type move that, as described, rains down Phalanx from the body's tail. Every turn until the Pokemon on the field is switched out or faints, it will deal 1/8 of the opposing Pokemon's total health.
Can I continue?
Yep.
Okay, as I said, I looked up and saw a giant apple looming over the city. From there, Applins, Flapples, Appletons appeared outside and it started attacking my people. Then a menacing Diplin in a trench coat came over to me, the only one not getting attacked. He came over and told me,
"You look strong, little one. Join me to conquer the world or die with your people."
I replied, "Who are you? Are you gonna kill me?"
I'm Drip, and I will not hold back on killing you. Choose wisely.
Fine, but don't you dare think I want to become what you are. You're a monster. With that, me and Drip disappeared back into the apple. I peeked out and saw the sky turn red and start dripping. I've been calling it the dripping sky.
Day 13 is the Isle of Armor. For this one, I wanted to make a Pokemon that linked to Kubfu in a way. After a lot of thought, I came up with a few ideas. A dirty fighter to clash with Kubfu and Urshifu's clean fighting style, but with most of the ideas I have, there are flaws, like the typing being the same as the single strikes typing, being dark and fighting. On the note of Kubfu and Urshifu, I thought of a really sick idea. What if the scrolls that are used to evolve Kubfu and its different evolutions are just mimics of the actual conditions that evolve Kubfu into its different forms? So I created a legendary duo that fills that role. Well, technically I only made one of them, which was the legendary that evolves Kubfu into Rapid Strike. The lore goes like this. The original Kubfu was wandering the Isle of Armor, training harder and harder until it became the strongest Pokemon in the land, or so it thought. One day, it was training by the ocean and decided to go for a swim. When swimming, a large Pokemon came up from under it and swallowed Kubfu. But Kubfu wasn't eaten. No, it stayed inside the Pokemon's mouth for 7 years. It trained and trained until it evolved, on exactly the 7th year, to the day. With this newfound power, Urshifu attacked the Pokemon from the inside and escaped the mouth. This was the first and strongest Urshifu, the flowing Rapid Strike form. So that Pokemon was the one I'm making now. It is based on a basking shark, which when I saw a gaping mouth that could become a bottomless pit. I gave it flowing water facial hair with a very saturated blue and some patterns with light blue. In the end, I really enjoyed this Pokemon and thought the lore I gave it was really cool. Abask, the Abyss Mouth Pokemon, a water type. Abask is the mentor of Urshifu. Before it evolved, Urshifu was swallowed by this Pokemon, training in its stomach for 7 years. Its ability is Swallow Hollows, an ability that activates when it uses Swallow on a target. The Pokemon cannot attack until selecting a physical move.
I felt a sense of dread once that happened, knowing something was wrong. Also, Drip was radiating a sort of king energy. I dismissed it and sat there, afraid for my life. We started conquering, civilization after civilization. I began to act just like Drip, not getting stronger, but more evil.
Day 14 is the Crown Tundra. For this, I wanted to make either a new Reggie or a Calyrex steed. But first, I needed a concept. For the Reggie, I wanted to make a fairy type but didn't really have a concept for it. So I thought of one for a Calyrex steed. I found the Kelpie, which is a water horse from a lot of folklore and mythologies. My main focus is that it's from Scottish folklore. So I decided to design a Kelpie Calyrex steed. The lore goes like this. Calyrex is not from the Crown Tundra. It is from a far-off land. One day, it saw a vision of the Crown Tundra and knew it was calling for it. Didn't know Spectre or Glacier until it was in the Crown Tundra, but it did have 2 original seeds. One that roams the seas and one that roams the skies. It called upon the sky seed until it hit the shores, where a storm was brewing, so it called upon Drentrier, our drawing for today. From the shore, Drentrier brought Calyrex the rest of the way, but Drentrier and its sky counterpart had to return to their home, never seeing Calyrex again. So yeah, I have made a lot of lore for this video, not just for the Pokemon, but also for the channel. Put a lot of work on myself, but hopefully I can get it done. Drentrier, the dive horse Pokemon, a water type. Drentrier is a special seed that Calyrex uses to move around from sea to sea. It can disappear into water, hiding from opponents. Its ability is Flowing Neigh. When Drentrier knocks out an opponent, its speed is raised by 1 stage.
One day, we finally conquered the entire world. We had achieved so much in such little time. We needed to rest. Drip, looking over his empire, appointed generals to each part of it. He had recruited other members from each area. For all I know, I'm the only one that's still alive. Anyways, we had all finally gotten our rest, but that night I had time to reflect. I heard a voice of me as approachable. It told me this wasn't what I wanted, and I knew it wasn't. So I ran away. I ran as far as I could. I eventually ran into a sign that was titled "The Basement Exit." I opened the trapdoor above and saw your world. I jumped up and exited the basement.
Moving on to Paldea, Day 15. For this one, I knew I wanted to make a Paradox Pokemon. In my opinion, Paradox Pokemon are my favorite unique group of Pokemon because of the diverse this group is. You can have the future Paradoxes, which, yes, they look a bit bland, but the energy that they have in their designs looks really nice and adds a good layer to the design. For the past Paradoxes, they're just so amazing. They are dinosaur Pokemon. What's better? I'm going to turn Pokemon's favorite Pokemon into my favorite dinosaur through the past Paradox forms. Now, what I am remembering, I did forget to add the little makeup markings that all the past Paradoxes have. Anyways, I turned Charizard into a Pyroraptor. For yesterday and today, I was kind of burnt out and I just traced the poses for these two. But hopefully that won't happen for the rest of the challenge. I'm sorry for anyone who thinks that's a sin, but deal with it. I was going to add feathers to the design, but I didn't think it fit Charizard that much, and the wings are just too iconic to Charizard to change them to feathers. I am also obsessed with the tail, how it is a gradient where it looks like it's getting hotter as it goes up the tail until it hits the tail flame. It has a really ferocious look, and the name fits that look. That name being Raptorial Blaze, the Paradox Pokemon, a Fire and Dark type. It is similar to a malicious beast that hunts down prey with no mercy, written about in a paranormal magazine. Its ability is photosynthesis. I've got a question. Once I'm done with my Applin series, would you like to see a Charizard form of every type? I would actually enjoy it a lot, but tell me what you think. On that note, remember to like and subscribe. Next week will be a really good video, and it's the channel's second birthday on Monday. This may come out after, but whatever.
For 9 months, I traveled the surface. 7 months later, I had just found the first signs of life. I found a regional wooper. This gave me hope once again. Exactly 2 months after that, I found you. I had finally found the anchor of this world. It was you. I wondered if you were as cruel of a ruler as Trip and I were, but I hadn't seen any signs of life besides scattered Pokemon, and later, you. An unassuming, harmless kid that just liked drawing Pokemon and making YouTube videos. From then on, we became inseparable. Until recently.
Kitakami is next, Day 16. I really didn't know what to do for this one. I could make another Applin Evo, but I couldn't think of a new idea for it. I thought of making a new Ogre Pawn mask, but that would just involve drawing a new mask and being done with it, which doesn't sound fun. Then I thought about making a new Loyal 3 member, making it the Loyal 4, I guess. But that would just mess up the lore, and I've already made so many legendaries this week. But then I gave in. I made a counterpart to Pecharunt. So that's 4 legendaries in a row. Yes, I'm counting mythicals and paradoxes as legendaries. But I had a cool idea for this one. I want to make a Pecharunt counterpart that spits out Fresh Start Mochi to cure people from Pecharunt's puppetry. It uses a citrus berry as a disguise and has a white and yellow color scheme. The face didn't come out as good as I hoped, but I'm proud of the design nonetheless. It's a unique typing, not completely unheard of, but unique. It's normal and ghost. The shiny also refers to the citrus berry's more common version, the oranberry, which is pretty funny since the shiny is rare. Here is Citron, the Liberator Pokemon, a normal and ghost type. Citron are a benevolent Pokemon, a counterpart to Pecharunt. Citron was lost to time after Pecharunt buried it in the ground. Its ability is Heal Deal. Anytime Citron uses a move with a healing secondary effect, the opposing Pokemon will be leeched losing 1/16 of its health and healing 1/16 of Citron's health.
I want to be honest where I've been. Since the start of 2026, I've been gone, as I'm sure you've noticed. Well, during our last recording, making Route 1 Pokemon for Charoda, I saw a drip in the corner of my eye. Watching from a far away distance, I ran. Couldn't tell you anything yet, it was too risky. Are just a kid, but Drip has firsthand came after you. You deserve to be told my story in drips.
Wow, that's heavy. I need time to process this. I mean, you were a supervillain. You and Drip were dictators of an entire world. And you left. Came here leaving your past behind to what? Make up for your sins? Can't lie, I'm sort of scared of you, but I need your help to defeat Drip. We both need each other. I need to continue with this video though. So, moving on to day 17. Day 17 is titled Generation 10, which is Pokemon Winds and Waves. I had a few ideas for this. I could have predicted some of the Pokemon such as the Route 1 staples, the Pika clone, the legendaries, the pseudo-legendary, or just a Pokemon that could be included. But in the end, I landed on doing the starter evolutions. I have been meaning to post a video about this for about 2 months now, but my uploading schedule has been booked with other videos. So I'm probably going to upload that video as my first May video. Anyways, I still had to choose what starter I was going to evolve and what stage. The night before I designed this prompt, I had made my evolution to BROWT, so I was going to make Pombon's middle stage. The problem is I couldn't make a middle stage that wasn't just bigger Pombon. I needed a concept. So then I thought about doing Gekwa's middle stage. Right when I was going to start making it though, I thought of a perfect design for Tranquileaf, BROWT's final evolution. So I did a 180 and started designing it. I won't go into too much detail on this because I want to save that for the actual video, but it's definitely not what other people are making for their evolutions. Mine is much calmer. Here is Tranquileaf, the Tranquility Pokemon, a grass type. Tranquileaf are much calmer than their pre-evolutions. They nurture their chicks with great care. Their feathers are used to create artwork. Its ability is Overgrow, and its hidden ability is Chlorophyll. You may be wondering why it's not a fairy type, so here's why. I'm planning to make Pombon's final stage a fairy type, but on top of that, the concept of this Pokemon doesn't have to have the fairy type to be fleshed out in the right way. Day 18 is the Orre region. The Orre region is the region from Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon Gale of Darkness. I was really lazy for this prompt. I mean, I literally named it Arizonix. Literally a mix of Arizona and Phoenix, the place the region is based on. Anyways, I did put my spin on the two-formed Phoenix Pokemon design that people are making, where there's a small unassuming bird that catches fire and becomes a huge menacing fire phoenix. It wasn't that different, but I pretty much just made a normal type bird instead of a fire flying type or a pure ghost type with a little candle on the top, candle flame on the top. And then I made like a plume of smoke for its neck, and it's not really smoke, but it is like feathers that make it look like smoke. Anyways, in the rebirth form, it's just a giant blazing phoenix that is just a body around the original birth form. So, yeah. Here is Arizonix Earth form, the birth Pokemon, a normal type. Despite popular belief, Arizonix birth form is not a fire type. It has a flame on top of its head but cannot use that power. Its ability is Rebirth. In this form, Rebirth activates when Arizonix birth form uses Burn Up, changing it into Arizonix Rebirth form, the Rebirth Pokemon, a fire type. Arizonix Rebirth form is a very strong Pokemon. When it gets mad, it glows a bright purple and wipes out anything in a 10-kilometer radius. Its ability is Rebirth. In this form, Arizonic's Rebirth form gets a second life. Once it faints, it can be switched back in next turn in its birth form, but can only be activated once per battle. Alright, day 19. The last of this week, being this Sunday, is the Lentel region. This is a region from Pokemon Snap. I knew I wanted to do something related to a camera. I was thinking of doing a Rotom camera form, but I didn't know what type to make it other than electric. I had thought to do a really pretty Pokemon, perfect for taking pictures of. At one point, I didn't even consider the camera part and made the Pokemon a Lentil, a pun on the region's name. In the end, I figured out what I wanted to design. I wanted to make a Pika clone for the Lentil region, so I tried to find a rodent or rodent-like Pokemon to base it off of. I ended up on the Quokka. One reason is because of its cuteness. The other reason is the main reason. Quokkas are very photogenic. It gets to a point where if they see someone holding a camera, they'll scurry over and start posing for a selfie. It's really cute, just look it up. So I had my concept, now I'm going to mix it with a camera and selfie filters. The main body has lens markings all over it, on the belly and on the palms. Its head has heart patterns. This to show the filters concept. I also added the stylized ears in to reference those panda ear filters. Its tail is a roll of camera paper that is used to print pictures out on the Polaroid. Then I added in the pink and yellow colors and we were done. Quoto, the photogenic Pokemon, an electric and normal type. Quoto are very photogenic Pokemon. Even wild, seeing a person taking a picture will cause them to scurry up and beg for a selfie with the person. After they will nuzzle the person with such affection that it may shock the person accidentally. Its ability is photogenic. If the opposing Pokemon has a same move as Quoto and Quoto is not on the battlefield, using the move will drag it out, paralyzing the opponent and making the next move Quoto makes double damage. Its other ability is Cute Charm and its hidden ability is Volt Absorb. Well, that was week 3 of April. I'm really happy of how this week came out and we made some really strong Pokemon. I will say that was very on accident. I mean, I created a GMAX, 2 legendaries, a Paradox, a Mythical, a Starter, a really strong pseudo-legendary level Pokemon, and a nice cute Quokka that likes photos. This is the last week of official Pokemon regions, and these 19 days have shown me how much potential this kind of idea has. I think it would be fun to revisit different regions and make some new Pokemon for them. For example, a Kanto region with a new story, some new Pokemon that includes Tanukai, new gym leaders, and more. I don't know, just thoughts, but tell me what you think in the comments. Anyways, I'm Jay. We'll see you all. Is that?
Drip. He's here.
Froge, you really messed up. You shouldn't have told him. Shouldn't even have left.
You think I'm gonna stand there and let him be clueless when you're planning to kill him and his world?
Kill him? Oh no, I wouldn't kill him. I would force him to give up his rule. Hand it over to me.
You think I would do that? Ha!
You underestimate me, even after hearing what I had once done.
No, I don't underestimate you. I just don't fear you.
Let's test that then.
Fine, let's test that.